What if I told you that the following image you see actually has no cube in it? What if I also told you that from a mathematical standpoint, there actually wasn't anything there? Now, how could that be possible? Because clearly we can see a cube there, right? It has all of its sides, every side is an equal size, and it looks pretty normal, but that's simply not true. There are many aspects to this phenomenon that I want to cover in this video, but the first is that this cube doesn't actually exist. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, if we split this cube up so all the faces look more 2D, we can see instantly that a flat face in 3D space looks really flat. Like, really flat. Like, so flat that no man is ever gonna love these faces. And that's because there's actually no height dimension on these individual faces. When I go to a 2D view of them, the only reason why they're visible at all is because Blender highlights the sides to make it easier to see. Now, because they have no dimension of height, the formula for their volume would end up being multiplied by 0, so they would have absolutely no volume to them. And because every physical, solid piece of matter in the world must have some sort of volume to exist, we can confirm that there's actually nothing here. Putting 6 of these together doesn't make a cube, it just makes 6 times nothing, which is still nothing. Blender just tries to trick you into believing that there's a physical, solid cube there. But oh no, it doesn't stop there. Nearly all 3D models trick you into believing you're seeing something that actually isn't there. For example, this sphere isn't a sphere at all. It's technically an Oh, Jesus Christ. The technical mathematical name for this shape is an enneahecta-enneacontagonal prism. In other words, a 3D polygon with 960 sides. It's just been shaded smooth to blur the solid lines between faces, making it appear smooth and round. This leads us down another rabbit hole, which is that no curved shape can actually exist in a 3D space. What? Even the cleanest curves people have managed to create are just many tiny faces. This is because you can't actually bend a face in 3D. Every face has to stay completely flat. You can only curve the angle between two flat faces. This isn't a curve, this isn't a curve, that's fake. So really every model with curves in it just looks like this, but with more subdivisions and smooth shading. Now you're probably thinking, well, that makes a little sense, but a 3D printer can still print in perfect curves, so surely some kind of 3D software can process perfect curves? Can they? In the engineering software Fusion 360, you can technically add a perfect curve, or at least what the software interprets as a perfect curve. But when 3D printing curves like this, there are still very slight imperfections to it, little tiny grooves or bumps because the printer wasn't precise enough. So going off of this example, you could almost say what a computer interprets as a perfect curve still isn't a perfect curve. To be honest, any virtual curve you see is only a computer's best interpretation of displaying a perfect curve. Therefore, no perfect curve exists in any software there is. Well, dang, okay. But then if you can't digitally represent a perfect curve, how do they make perfect curves in the real world? Do they? Do you want to go another step further down the rabbit hole, Neo? The truth is, there are no perfect curves on Earth. No matter how precise a machine is, there will still be microscopic errors, and even if a machine is somehow perfect, because every object is made out of atoms with a lattice structure, every surface will be bumpy on a subatomic level. Even in the rest of the universe, we can see no signs of perfect curves. Even black holes, some of the smoothest bodies of matter in the universe, are not perfect. Because of their rotational pattern, all black holes must be oblate spheroids, meaning they're slightly flattened on the poles from their rotation. Even on a quantum scale, space-time fluctuations around a black hole cause slight irregularities in its shape. So what does all this mean? In short, 3D software lies to you. It creates the illusion that it's somehow possible to create perfect geometry. Atoms prevent objects from being completely smooth, perfectly curved objects are impossible to make, and all 3D geometry doesn't even exist because the individual faces have no definite volume. The reality of perfect geometry is that it's all numbers based. You can only create it when it's represented entirely by numbers. All 3D software does is process those numbers, then it tries to create the geometry visually. So remember, the next time you see a cube, or really any 3D model, just understand that there's really nothing there. Well, I think my scientific research is absolutely profound and it will change millions of lives. But now it's time to actually put it to the test. I'm going to be making two different sword models and they're each going to have the exact same volume. And I just want to show you guys that there's really no difference between them. Shift A, let's add a cube, Control 2, oh, Control 2, there we go for subsurf modifier. I'm going to scale this guy down. Oh, let's try to center up that reference image as well. Extrude, scale, SZ0. Let's see, extrude, scale out. And mirror modifier because this is a pain in the neck. Beautiful, oh yeah. Okay, it's looking pretty good. It's kind of a sword. I kind of forgot about the depth dimension, so let me fix that real quick. The blade's just a little bit too thick. Ah, God, it's so beautiful. Now this thing could kill someone. Boop boop beep. So I've shaded this guy smooth, you know, finished it off. It's not my best sword, but it kind of gets the point across. Now let's just tear this guy open. Grab an edge, V, split you open. Oh, what do you know? It's completely hollow. And there is absolutely no height dimension there. So this sword has a volume of 0. There is no object here. Okay, wonderful. Now let me create the exact same object. Okay, Shift A, you're gonna add in a cube just like that. Control 2, subsurf modifier. Tap into edit mode. Hey, just grab those top faces, extrude them upward, scale you out, scale that top bit up. We're just gonna grab that side face here. E, then R, G to move it down, S to scale, E to extrude, S to scale, R to rotate again, G to move it up, very nice. Okay, now let's just box select this entire right hand side of the cube, and we're just going to press delete and delete faces, wonderful. Go into our modifiers, give it a beautiful mirror modifier, that's perfect, apply that guy right there. Now we can just grab those top faces, back to a 2D view, E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, scale it up, nice, line it right in there, okay, E to extrude, S to scale, E, then S, E, S, and then E, and a big S, scale that guy way down, nice. Okay, now in a top 2D view, let's grab all those side faces right there along the blade, perfect. Now we can just press S and Y, make them nice and skinny. Beautiful, that's, wow. Let's hide that reference image, and dang, that's not a bad looking sword at all. Wow, okay. So we have our beautiful sword on the left right here with a volume of 0, and we have our beautiful sword on the right here with a volume of 0. So let me tell you, what's the difference between these two swords? Explain it to me, because it's literally beyond my understanding. Okay, this guy has 70,000 subs, he's a god at scripting. I mean, if anyone can tell me the difference between these two pictures, it's gotta be him. Nope, even he agrees with me. 3, 2, 1, and there we go, guys. We have officially gotten mid-roll ads into a Clone Mace YouTube video.